Hello and welcome to ACS Golf, and today's review, which has been released 12 AM UK time on a Friday, which can mean one thing, is a brand new club for 2025. And it's actually a club that's been out for quite a while, and I've actually played it throughout this year. It's been in and out of the bag depending on what golf course I'm playing and also if the driver's behaving or massively misbehaving. And it is this. It is the PXG Secret Weapon Mini Driver. There you go. Now, when this first came out, straight away I wanted to pick it up. I'm a huge fan of PXG. I think they've produced some really good stuff recently, and they're also bringing down that price bracket to sort of match with the other brands. However, they are still a little bit more premium, to be honest. But I was really excited about it. You know, I've played mini drivers before, you know, especially if the 3-wood maybe isn't getting on, you know, I tend to look at a mini driver instead because then it gives me an option off the tee, especially on tight, narrow fairways. So I'm a member at Silvermere, which is my local golf course, and the first 6 holes are very tight. You know, they're quite long as well, but they're tight, so you don't need a driver. If anything, a driver can really put you into trouble. So I've actually been using this quite a bit down there when I can use it, get myself on the fairway and hopefully walk off with that par and nothing horrendously horrible going wrong. Other golf courses which are a bit longer and a little bit more open, I tend to swap this out for a 3-wood because the 3-wood's a little bit easier to hit off a deck than this, even though I do hit this off the deck from time to time. But yeah, great club, and I'm finally getting to the review of it. As I've mentioned, it has been in my bag for a while and been out for a while as well. But today we're going to be looking at it, going to do our normal review. So we're going to have a closer look at the club, come back here, go for the technologies in it, get down to range, going to throw some figures at you, come back here for the ACS Golf Scale, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts about this mini drive and if you should be picking it up or perhaps be going for the other options out there. So the TaylorMade R7, so the Callaway Elite, you know, the new ones out at the moment, the Titleist 280, or maybe actually just go for an older model. We'll discuss that at the end. But anyway, without further ado, let's have a closer look at this club. So there you go, and it is a fine looking thing, isn't it? PXG have produced some really good looking clubs at the moment. Not going to lie, not a huge fan of the glossy top. I always think, especially in summer, whenever I say this every video actually, when I mention a glossy top, I look down on it, I can see my reflection. I'm not a big fan of that at all. Not my reflection, but a reflection of the sky at the time, and just, I don't like it. I prefer matte top, but it still looks really good. And obviously with PXG, you get a premium head cover. Look at that, Secret Weapon. Really, really cool. And one thing as well, which I love about PXG, is if I can find one of these, has a magnet on the back. So, you know, you take the head cover off to play your hole, stick it to an iron or stick it to your cart, and you don't lose your head cover. Really like that. Such a simple feature, but really cool feature. So there you go. So yeah, really good looking club. Now, let's get into the technology that's in this club. So let's read off from PXG's website, which they really do like going extreme for it, as they always do, but here we go. So power meets versatility. Unleash precision and power with the PXG Secret Weapon, a mini driver designed to deliver exceptional off-the-tee performance and remarkable versatility from the fairway. Engineered for advanced players who demand both accuracy and distance. So you have a high MOI design for unmatched stability. So the Secret Weapon is built with a high MOI design for outstanding stability and forgiveness. Its lightweight composition crown inserts are crafted from high-grain carbon fiber using an advanced compression molding process. This strong yet lightweight material enables our engineers to strategically redistribute weight within the club head, increasing MOI and shifting the center of gravity lower and further back. The result is enhanced distance, improved launch, and greater forgiveness on off-centered hits. So there you go. You obviously got your carbon fiber in there and other materials so they can move that weight around. Optimized distance for maximum performance. So featuring a thin Titanium face and maximised ball speed and energy transfer. The secret weapon is built for distance. Its design promotes a high launch with low spin, resulting in a powerful penetrating ball flight by pushing the USGA's limit on ball speed, CT, and then brackets there. So the idea is, and they mentioned that we're at the limits for everything. We're at the limits when it comes down to the weight, etc., the face. You know, you can't make this face any thinner. So there you go. So they're literally at the limits, but then not going to lie, all the clubs are at the limits. So do be aware of that. It's not just them that are, oh, we're the first one to do it. All the clubs are at the limits, and this is why they're all doing, like, trying to get more speed from aerodynamic, trying to do this, trying to do that, because they're already at those limits. Anyway, so the secret weapon delivers top tier performance. Testing shows a 3 miles per hour increase in ball speed and 300 RPM reduction in spin compared to the Black Ops 3 would. Further enhancing distance and control, where you'd expect that as a bigger club head. So you're definitely going to get more ball speed, having that larger face. Spin-wise, yeah, they can move more weight around to affect that because it is a bigger club head and they can do that. So versatility off the deck performance. The secret weapon is designed for versatility, featuring a tighter leading edge that makes it easier to hit from the turf, enhancing playability across all surfaces and no matter the playing conditions. So there you go. The idea is, you know, they've done this, but they're not just saying, all right, well, this is, you know, off the tee if your driver's not working, but they're saying, look, you guys, you can use this off the deck. So you can use it as a 3-wood replacement if you want something that goes a little bit longer than a 3-wood, but also gives you a really good option off the tee. Or like some people maybe have this and then maybe a 5-wood and then a 7-wood, for example. Now on to weighting. So precision weighting technology. So we've got 4 weight adjustability system featured in the secret weapon, includes 2 heavy 15 grams and 2 light 2.5 gram weights that are interchangeable to support preferred spin and bias settings. During a fitting, head weight can be further adjustment with the weights available in 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 17.5 and 20 gram options. And weight kits are also available for those who like to tinker on the range. Now, that's really cool. Means you can really get in there, change the options, get the club to perform how you want it to perform. For example, you know, playing this at the beginning of the year, swing speed was a little bit, well, not down, but it was more what it was at the beginning of the year. I've definitely quickened up a lot throughout the year. So I actually had this in the fade setting to sort of counteract my sort of horrible starts we all know. And if you haven't seen it before, you're about to see it. It works really well, but it does tend to put a draw on it. So put it in the fade setting, try and strain it out a little bit. And I put it at the back to help with launch, those 215. Now, with my swing speed going up, I'll probably move that 15, to be fair, at the front to make it a little bit low spinner, but still keep this lofted at 14.5 degrees to help get it up in the air, but then keep that spin a little bit lower as my swing speed has increased. So great options there. And I definitely need to remember to move that one to the front. I will do that probably after this video, to be fair, to remind myself. But yeah, really cool options there. Obviously, having it at the back as well increases MOI. So by moving forward, I might lose a little bit, but not the end of the world. Just discussing the lofts of this. You can only get this in 13 degrees loft, and it is 300cc size. So there you go. Not the biggest. I think there's a few that are bigger than that, but not the smallest. Obviously, the Type is 280cc, and I think the TaylorMade is about 250, something like that. Also, when it comes down to it, there are a lot of premium shafts you can get with this. I personally went for the AV Series 75 Flex in stiff, tensai. Probably now, to be fair, my swing speed maybe should have gone for extra stiff, but at the time it worked really well, and it's definitely helped me well throughout the year. And to be honest, even with a stiff shaft, it just means I don't have to put a big swing on it. I can just put a natural swing on it and find myself the fairway. So really, yeah, I'm happy with that shaft. It works well. So there you go. So there's all the technology that's in this club. Now let's get down to range. I'm going to throw some figures at you and then come back here for the ACS Golf scale. Now, as I mentioned, the settings for this was the weight at the back and in the fade bias. Also, I had this set at 14.5 degrees because you can increase the loft by 1.5 degrees and you can decrease it by 1.5 degrees. So you can make this head down to 11.5 or all the way up to 14.5. I play at 14.5 to help me with that launch because of my relatively close stance. Also, I'll also mention before we get to the range, keep on going before we get there. Very cold day now. We are in winter, definitely here in the UK. I probably should be wearing a jumper when I'm filming this. So obviously that ball is not going to be going as far as before. Ball speed's fine, but it's just not going as far because the ball's cold and it's not traveling as far. So the figures are still really good, but not necessarily as good if I was hitting this in summer. So do be aware of that. But anyway, that won't affect the ACS Golf scale because we take that into account when I look into it. Okay. All right. So without further ado, let's get down to the range. Here I'm down at the range with the secret weapon on a very cold winter's day over here in the UK. So obviously because of that, the numbers will be slightly down, not ball speed, but definitely down for distance wise, but still very impressive numbers anyway. So on average, I had a carry of 234 yards, total distance of 253 yards, ball speed 153 miles per hour, launch angle 14, height 87 feet, with the longest being 268 total yards and a ball speed 159 miles per hour. Hit that quite a few times actually, just didn't quite get to that 160. And the shortest, which I nearly missed the club face, was 241 yards and the ball speed 142 miles per hour. But more importantly, down the middle. Overall, this club, I love it. I love when I just put a normal swing on it. I mean, in this, I'm really going for it to try and get as much distance. So it's spraying a little bit more left and right than it normally would. But when I do my control swing with this, it just goes straight down the middle every single time. And normally in summer, it'd be going around that 250 mark. So really, really pleased with it. And obviously, if you want to, you can push out that more distance. It is an absolute lovely club. Feels fantastic off the face. Plenty of forgiveness from it as well. Being set at 14.5 degrees, plenty of launch, as you can see, 14 degrees there, you know, on average. So you do get a lot of carry from it. Confidence inspiring behind it, and as you can see there, you can hit it off the deck as well. So here's those numbers in a table for you. As I mentioned, you know, longest there, really happy with that. Means I can push it out, and some of that probably about 275, so a little bit short because it is very cold. Shortest there, yes, okay, not a great, well, quite a big drop down, especially ball speed, but like I said, I nearly missed the face and that went straight down the middle. So I will take that any day of the week, being on the fairway, 10 yards say, or 15 yards lower back. So there you go, and not bad figures at all, especially considering that it's obviously, we're in winter now, it's very cold, and therefore the ball's not going to go as far as if it was spring or summer. So really happy with those figures, and I know that in the summer I would have got even further and more distance with it. But yeah, on the day, really, really pleased. 234 yards, as mentioned, carried 253 yards total distance, ball speed 153 miles per hour, launch angle 14, height 87 feet. Pleased with all of them. Really pleased with the maxed out one as well. 253 yards carry, 268 yards total distance, ball speed a whopping 159, which I hit a few times actually. Launch angle 18, so got that launch, and height 106, so maybe a little bit spinny. And that's why maybe I need to be moving this to there just for that quicker swing speed that I have now. But still, really, really pleased with those numbers. Cannot complain at all, because the whole point is really for this, for me, is I don't need it to go as far as my drive. I don't need it going to 270, 280 yards plus. You know, I don't need that. What I want for this is exactly that. You know, 240, 250, straight down the middle every single time. Very, very happy with that. So really good consistency with it as well. Even though on the day it was a little bit out to the right, but that's just because I'm really going for it to try and get as much distance as normal. Believe me, on the course, when I take this, it's very accurate, and I'm very pleased with it. But let's get into the ACS Golf scale. So we've got 5 categories: distance, feel, looks, price, and forgiveness. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Now, for me, a mini driver, I know they're mini drivers, but I stick them in the fairway wood category when it comes down to ACS Golf, because in my mind, it's a fairway wood replacement, because you're going to be hitting this potentially off the deck. You're unlikely to hit your driver off the deck. So there you go. So some of these are quite high because you'd expect it to be compared to your normal fairway wood. However, there's been a few fairway woods that I tried that are probably longer than this. My Ping LST one that I'm playing at the moment is massive. Anyway, let's get into it. So remember, we've got 5 categories: distance, feel, looks, price, and forgiveness. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Now for me, this is a 5 out of 5 when it comes down to distance. You cannot complain about it. It's definitely, compared to other fairways, it's going to be longer. It's not going to be longer than your driver, but it's got some serious distance in there and some serious ball speed, you know, nearly getting to that 160 mark. You know, on average with a driver, probably I'm going to top out about 165, maybe close to 170, you know, on some days when I'm really going for it, but average normally around the 160 mark. So to get this up to sort of the average of my driver speed is really, really good. So happy about that. So yeah, 5 out of 5. Now, I will mention though, do I think this is the longest mini driver out there? Probably not. I think probably the TaylorMade R7 is a little bit longer, and also maybe the Callaway. However, is that the end of the world? No, because in the end, you know, you want it for perfect gapping. You want it to get you to fairways. You know, you don't necessarily want this thing to go as far as your driver. Well, I don't anyway. Some of you might hate a driver and therefore want this to go as far as possible, but still loads and loads and loads of distance in this. It is nice and long, believe me. So yeah, 5 out of 5. There's definitely been a few times, to be fair, on the golf course when I've used this and I've gone, this is like my average driver distance. Like I'm literally exactly the same place, but I'm in the middle of the fairway, so great. Feel, 4.5 out of 5. Love the feel of this. I love all PXG feeling clubs, to be fair. Their woods feel really, really nice. I can tell where my mishits are. Feels really nice off the face, powerful but yet soft. Just a great feeling club, and maybe should have given it a 5, but I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5. Looks, really smart looking club. It really is. Everything about it looks premium. But I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, only because not a huge fan, as I mentioned, of the glossy tops. And also the bottom, it's very simplistic, which I like, but then I don't know, I just quite fancy a little bit more going on the bottom, but that's not the end of the world. But yeah, 4 out of 5. It is a very good, simplistic looking club, and I know a lot of you guys will like it, and it is a great shape as well. On to forgiveness. So the shortest, as I mentioned a second ago when we were at the range, was 212 yards and 241 total yards with a distance of 142 miles per hour. Sorry, 241 total distance, ball speed at 142 miles per hour, launch angle 15 and height 60 feet. That was a horrendous hit. I don't know if you can see it, but it was literally like I nearly missed the whole club face, and it still went down the middle. So I will take that any day of the week, the consistency, and that's what I want. Yes, okay, there was quite a big drop off from the average there, but I'm still happy because I'm down the middle of the fairway. All right, I might be 10 yards shorter, but fine. All right, I'm hitting a 7-iron rather than 8-iron. Really don't care about that. I just want to be on the fairway, and that's the whole point of a mini drive for me, is to be on that fairway. So really happy with that. So forgiveness, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5 because, yes, there was a drop off there. And this isn't the most forgiving situation. If you put it further forward, it probably drop down. So if I, you know, could say maybe 4.5 with the weight at the back and then 3.5 with the weight forward. So I'm averaging out as 4. But there's plenty of forgiveness in there for, you know, anyone who wants a mini driver. Do I think it's the most forgiving mini driver out there? Again, perhaps not. I think as well, off the bottom of the face, it's not necessarily, there is quite a little bit of a drop off. So if you hit it, you know, from the top, in the middle off the tee, fantastic, you know, lots of forgiveness there, but off the bottom, maybe not necessarily there. So off the deck, maybe losing a little bit more distance that you sort of want. Still really good, but just be aware of that. I don't think there's reviews out here for this that say it's really easy to hit off the deck. It's great. I've definitely hit it off the deck. I've hit the deck quite a lot. I tend to put a bit more of a fade off the deck just because it's a little bit of a longer shaft than normal. However, I'm really happy with it. I've hit some great ones in the summer with it. However, I've also seen other people, I remember Rick Shields did a review of this, who says he couldn't hit it off the deck at all. So do be aware of that. I definitely think, you know, the Titleist is easy to hit off the deck. I think the TaylorMade is probably easy to hit off the deck as well. So just be aware of that. But a lot of people haven't had an issue with it. And generally, I don't either. But it just won't launch as high as you'd expect if I was hitting it off a tee. So there you go. So yeah, 4 out of 5. Now on to price. So price is a little bit of a sticky one for me. To be fair, I think this is a fantastic club. I think PXG produce some really great stuff. And I absolutely love it. And I will probably keep this for the foreseeable future and keep it in the bag for days where it is a narrow fairway golf course and I just want something to get me on that fairway. So it will be in the bag, in and out of the bag over the next year. I can imagine into next year as well. However, price of this compared to the others is a little bit high. So brand new right now, PXG, you can get this for £429 in the UK. Off PXG website in the US, it's $449. Now in the UK, I have seen these go for $410 brand new. TaylorMade R7s, brand new at the moment, are only going for £230. The Callaway Elites mini drivers only going for £330. The GT280 is £439, so a little bit more than this. So basically, the TaylorMade, which is a fantastic mini driver, you know, they started this whole process off really with all the same adjustability. You've got 4 weights moving around, you know, and the Elite as well. All adjustability is actually a lot cheaper than this, nearly £100 cheaper. That's a lot of money, and this is definitely not £100 better than those two clubs. So price, I've actually given it a 2 out of 5. I think it's fantastic. I think PXG have done a really good job with it. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's definitely something that is an option that I'm going to keep for my bag for the foreseeable future. However, you know, the R7 I think is probably maybe a little bit better. I haven't got my hands on the R7, but from all the reviews I've seen about it, it does seem to be a little bit better than this, and also maybe the Callaway Elite. Not a huge amount, but this is definitely not £100 better than those. If anything, they're all the same, and this should not be £100 more. So do be aware of that. So that's why I've given the price a 2 out of 5 for this brand new. Obviously, second-hand market can get them a little bit cheaper, but still, just be aware if you're looking brand new, maybe have a look at the TaylorMade. That's probably the one I would go for personally, the TaylorMade R7. All right, guys, now I hope you enjoyed the review of the PXG Secret Weapon. Overall, a fantastic mini driver, really good option if your driver's not working or you want something a little bit more accurate off the tee, and it can still be hit off the deck, don't get me wrong. However, with the price point, I might possibly, if you're looking at brand new, go a different route, such as the TaylorMade R7. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Now, do remember to give this video a like if you did. Remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon as well, so you not miss out on weekly ACS Golf reviews that come out every Sunday and bonus videos that come out during the week, such as this. And also remember as well to comment down below, you know, do you play a mini driver? If you do, what brand is it and how does it perform? I'd love to know. All right, guys, I'll see you soon for the next ACS Golf review. See you then. Bye-bye.